Chief Product Officer of Strands, and here is
Alex Nazarre, okay? I'm working on the engineering part, on the top part, okay? The one that we are, okay? So welcome to everyone. Happy to see you there.
So we're gonna try to give you all a bit of an overview of why this topic is relevant, also give you some suggestion to elaborate and to work on. Then actually what it is about, right? So actually what we expect from you, and then we're gonna try to go a bit more deeper, showing you a bit more the use cases and APIs and stuff we're gonna provide you. So we are a fintech, right? We said it. For us, actually, it's starting from understanding why the banking context is changing, right? So you need to think that banks, traditional banks like BBVA, have a huge problem. We see Revolut, N26, you name them, okay? They are getting into the market with very simple experiences, and the people, like you, I guess, are likely taking these new banks, okay? So traditional banks are not catching new customers just like you, because you're actually not interested in getting BBVA. You just take N26, whatever, it's cheaper, it's easier to adopt, and it has an awesome user experience. Furthermore, now you guys, we ourselves, we all interact with personalization. Meaning, every time you open up Netflix, the experience is tailored on your profile, right? You don't have to look for what you want to see. Everything is already there. Social media, you look what you have to see. ChatGPT actually will dramatically decrease your level of searching things because everything will already be elaborated there, okay?
Don't know why appears Peppa Pig on my Netflix all the time. But this is another story.
And furthermore, if you look on the market, I hope you will do it. You will also look new fintechs like Cleo, Klarna, or others, actually Plum, search them on the web that actually already have this type of experience in banks, where actually they use chatbot, they use personal assistants to provide a really focused, laser-focused experience for Gen Z customers, for underserved segments, okay? So new technologies actually are revolutionizing banking industry, right? So what are the needs of the customers that are driving this change, okay? I don't want to bombard you, okay, with figures, but what is the point here? Actually is our consumers, our preferences of consumers are changing. We believe mainly in three areas, okay? One is people expect the bank providing services without really asking for it. Let me make an example. If 10 days before you get your salaries, you don't have more money, you expect your bank telling you, hey, you don't have money, Claudio. Get a loan, get a credit card, and postpone everything. Second thing is actually people now also look for sustainable offer, right? So banks actually should also suggest us how, based on our behavior, we should change our behavior to a more sustainable lifestyle. Like if you go and pay constantly on McDonald's, we should also be said something like, look, maybe you're impacting too much the environment. Banks have all this data. They are not really using it, right? They could actually take all this data and support us in taking more conscious decisions. Sustainability is one aspect. The last thing actually is that Gen Z, everybody is using a lot of these apps, but without getting a tailored offer, right? So BBVA is not, I would say, the most fresh experience I can imagine, okay? Still, they are top of technology.
Maybe they are offering you beds and you don't care about beds right now, or some hospital fee, whatever, that is not for your target. So this is something important.
So having said that, what is this challenge about, okay? So the idea is that we think that out there is a war of opportunities to create a better, easier product for banking, considering underserved segments. Underserved segments are teens. Unbanked people are the first customers bank need to acquire, because when they're thin, they will not be profitable. But after 10 years, they will become always more and more profitable, right? Revolut's strategy is actually to catch teens in early stage, then fly profitability in earlier stage. But Revolut is the only one thinking of it, not doing it. Family. There's no app actually managing family apps, right? Diversity. I have myself, I'm an immigrant in the sense that I'm Italian. I came here without an year. I wasn't even able to open a banking account. It took me like 2 months to get a banking account with a job. And then we have people from South America and Spain. There's a huge community coming here, but without actually.
Thank you.
Without, right? But without any, banks are not really considering their needs are radically different from anyone else. So the idea is that we want you to elaborate more concept based on the APIs and the use case that we will now be explaining to you. That's you, thanks to our APIs, we can create a better experience, a better set of services for those 3 segments or any others you may be identified. Okay? An example could be this. Imagine you get into your online banking, mobile banking, and you basically get an overview of your finances based off what actually was your year, right? So you could get actually a financial report based on your incomes or outcomes. You could get actually a projection based on your past behavior. You could get life goals based on the fact that you do not have a car, but you should start to set aside money to get a car. More examples, again, are the fact that you should be driven, guided by your bank in setting aside money to reach a specific goal, the car, for instance, right? Or if you actually want to go to Japan next year, you should be actually driven by your bank in setting aside money to reach your life goal of going into Japan next year. Another use case that actually we see is having a lot of traction is carbon footprint. What is it about? Every time you go and you pay something, let's say you go to McDonald's, you pay 10 euro again at McDonald's. That 10 euro of McDonald's imply a certain carbon emission to produce that 10 euro of transactions. Every time you go and you purchase 50 euro fuel, you are creating carbon emissions because 50 euro fuel have an equivalent in terms of carbon. We at Strands, we have created this algorithm that actually estimates the carbon emission per single transaction. So also in our APIs, as you're going to see, we provide actually this carbon footprint equivalent for each transaction. If you as a bank have this data, you could think of teaching end clients and actually having a more sustainable behavior, right? Because if you keep purchasing food at Carrefour more than going at that specific restaurant, if you keep purchasing fuel instead of using public transport, if you're having unhealthy behaviors, actually it should be your bank, the first one seeing this behavior and correcting this behavior, driving your carbon footprint, carbon emissions decrease. This is actually a use case that is real, by the way. We are implementing it several customers not in this country, in other countries. And we really believe actually this could make a difference also in younger generations that have actually a better attitude, let's say, in understanding these matters. And we think actually that banks can really drive an impact in educating people.
So the conscience and the sensitivity is important for the new generations for sure. So this is something that is enhancing some aspect like this banking application that is seems like it's not related, but we can educate people having the expense on emissions, etc. So I think that this is one of the possible examples about something that is not fully related, is some banking API, like it's just how much I'm expending and how much I'm receiving as a salary, is related with another sustainability scenario. So this is some ideas that we are providing, no? So I think that the concept is like here, Claudio displays some kind of ideas about how we can use as a financial API in order to provide some extras or go outside of the box regarding what we want, no? So the challenge is aligned with that visibility, like, okay, we have that API that we will show. I think I will present now the API usage. Okay, what we have, we will provide you an API with the data set like is standard for testing that you can play and retrieve and see which is the content about this API. And basically, the challenge will be how, with your fresh mind, you can use this API in order to accomplish some of this sensitivity or this content. So a specific segment, sustainability, etc. So there is quite broad aspects that we can implement. So now what we will focus on is to show you the API that we will use in order to accomplish this challenge. Later on, you need to send us some message in order to, we can provide API keys in order to play with that API and integrate on the challenge. So on the slide, you can question us in order to provide those API keys. And the next step will be to show you some UIs in order that you can foresee this abstract backend interface, this API that is numbers, strings, etc., how we can present on the UI. But we are not asking you to create a new financial application. Okay, this is not the main concept about this. It's like you have an API that has a lot of functionalities in place. So how we can implement or enhance a feature that is making stronger in a specific segment or a specific sensitivity. Okay, so I think that this is the main point that is important. Okay, because someone of you, I was talking with you like, okay, but we need to build a incredible API, no, or incredible web with flashing lights. No, it's like how we can implement that idea using our API. Okay. So I will try to share here my computer. Can you help me, organization, maybe? I will do my best. Sí. No, pero es compartir pantalla. Sí, vale. Bueno, sí, podem entrar aquí a una web. Vale. Sí. No. Ho faig des d'aquí? Us va bé?
Sí. La pantalla o no? Sí. Un moment, si no...
Sí?
Bueno, sí, això es veu en principi.
Vale. Strands, the podcast, we mix with the dot, review, I try to, yes, done, thank you. Okay. So, what we will do, okay, this is a README information about how it's working our API, which are the possibilities that we can use, which are the main entities that we can play, okay? So basically what is there, okay? There is a lot of information, for sure you can ask us, okay, regarding this, but basically you can see some examples, okay, that I will provide you the API keys. I don't want to spend 5 minutes putting the API key so long, okay? And what you can do, okay? So let me try to search something quite easy to follow, okay? Give me a second. Trying to say search. Espera. Can you help me on this in order to display the transactions? Aquí? Ah, okay. Okay, this is the one that I want to see. Okay, so here you have the main entities about this API. So as you can see, there are a lot. Okay, so it's a matter to go deep dive into the API. We can provide you support about what is the meaning about this. Okay, but basically, in order to go faster, okay, we are having the main one, for example, are the transactions, okay? The spends and the incomes that I'm receiving, okay? There are other ones that is products that I'm a guy that I have 500 accounts or I have just one, okay? So you can go inside each one, okay? And you can see how you can call this API, some examples, how you interact, the response, the request, okay, and how we can integrate your application with our API, okay? So having this documentation, having our support, having all this information on how to inject and retrieve that information, that is the main challenge, to integrate and to display something that is covering this sensitivity, this segment of people, etc., okay? So I don't get the chance to, on that computer, to show the UIs. So maybe later on, if you are interested to, we can show you what we can achieve. Maybe, okay, yes, this is some templates, okay, regarding what we have. So with that API, our company, what is displaying is the information about the accounts that we have, the balances, the incomes and expenses that I have for the month. So again, we are not telling to you like we want to do this because this is almost done. So this is not the challenge for us, okay? But this is some ideas about what you can reach using our API. So we are retrieving from the API the information and we are drawing, okay? Just food for thought, okay? So not sure if there is some other aspects. I think that will be good to get some feedback from you guys regarding if we explain quite well the challenge or you have some clarifications pending. I think that will be useful also to know your feedback. What do you think, guys? Ooh, you are so shy. Yes? Any doubts? Okay, so next steps, I think that will be useful. You will contact us on Slack. We will provide you an API key and 5 users. Okay, I think that will be fine, right? So 5 users in order that you can go to the README and you can interact with our API in order to, with that API key and with that user, you can retrieve information. These users has preloaded data like it's test data. So I'm a fake user that I have accounts, I have transactions, I have saving goals, I have budgets. So you will see a lot of terminology there regarding financials. For sure, if you have some doubt, ask us because we can cover on this, okay? So you can plug and play, enjoy the API, and try to implement something regarding with that channel. Okay.
You basically get access to a banking set, a set of API that are equivalent to the one that a bank has. Okay. Imagine that you enter our developer portal. As you saw, you will have products and features. Okay. So you're able to access all the transactions, projection on those transactions, features, budget, saving goal, whatever. You can take these features and build a UI, or you can combine with external services to build a new banking service.
There is other very important topic, like we don't want UI designers here, like it's only using our API and just drawing and putting fancy. We can build an application that is a layer on top with another backend, extending the functionalities for the specific purpose. So Don't be scared, like, oh, it seems a UI project, because it's not the big matter about this implementation. So if the idea is challenging enough, we can build a backend on top, whatever the technology, because we are not talking about technology here right now, about the stack that you want to implement your preferred one, and enhance this functionality with some segment that you are conscious that maybe a banking application is not covered. Okay? Yeah. So I think we're on time, no? Perfect. So more doubts, you know where we are, okay? So I'm more than happy to, with the team, also Pera, Miguel, Gianni, Claudio, we can cover your questions. Okay, more than happy to be here. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Closing it. Yeah, I'll be.
This is for the organization.
No, we prepare on the